As we mean to go on. So, my name's Justin Sarginson. I am, I suppose, my past has been a myriad of different organisations, primarily in the third sector. I've been with victim support probably 3 years now, and just to put in the context, I suppose, both a journey that I've been on and also victim support have been on. When I first started, I managed 2 counties. By the end of the second year, I was managing 4 counties, and the number of contracts had tripled. And I think it's very indicative of the pace of change in this sector, in the third sector. And as an area manager, the expectation of not only delivering what I'd call the meat and potatoes of service delivery, but also making sure that I was speaking to the right people and to the right organisations to fundamentally support them in emergency planning. So, who are victim support? So, strangely enough, the 50th birthday is next year for us, and I always remember that date because despite my youthful looks, I'm very bitter that they're 1 year younger than me and look much better than me. But again, indicative of the respective journeys that we've been on. As you'll see in the slide, there's a number of references to the fact that we are independent. And I think that independence is something that we're very proud of because we are commissioned by local authorities, we are commissioned by police and crime commissioners, but we're very keen to retain our independence because our independence is what makes us, I think. We cover England and Wales, and what we cover county to county differs incredibly. So if I were to talk about that, we'd have to have another half an hour to talk about that, so I won't talk about that at all. But we are commissioned to provide local services for local people. I just wanted to then expand the conversation and just say how we've been working with major incident responses. We've got significant experience of providing humanitarian support. I feel that we've got a national role to play, and we have and always will be involved when there's a large-scale criminal or traumatic non-criminal event or an incident of terrorism. And fundamentally, our role is to provide humanitarian assistance. I think how we've provided that assistance in the past has changed quite considerably over the years, of which I'll talk about that shortly, but also how we've delivered that has been quite different because when we started out almost 50 years ago, we were primarily volunteers, and as the service has grew and as the expectation of the services grew, the staffing has actually predominantly changed to a more paid staff and an emphasis on specialisms and providing a specialist service. Now, I'm not going to read out these horrific events because I think in this room they all resonate with all of us very strongly. I think what I wanted to kind of mention was the Plymouth shooting as a really good example of, I think, how our response has changed, because when that incident happened only 2 years ago, the local police literally phoned us up and said, "This has happened, what can you do?" And we were there within, I think, 2 hours. And at that point, the scene of crime was quite extensive, covering quite a lot of area, and there was no real, I suppose, direction and emphasis about what our role should be, despite being called out straight away. And I think over time and over our experience of supporting these horrific incidents is that our response is perhaps not immediate, but more, I suppose, short-term within the following couple of weeks or so, because the provision that we can provide is ongoing and can be supported indefinitely. So it gives us a tremendous range of support for those who want it. And then this is just to kind of break down as to what we can provide. So our National Homicide Service is provided or funded by the Ministry of Justice that covers England and Wales. We've got specialist caseworkers throughout the country and in Wales to directly support bereaved family members. We specially commissioned specialist services to support those who are bereaved. And we've now increased and expanded our support of eyewitnesses of homicides nationally. So I think those links with both local authorities, the police and crime commissioners, the police and other agencies are really, really important and continue to be really important. And I think one of the common themes here today already is about partnership working. And already some of the conversations I've had are around resource management too, and just making sure that what we have, we share and we work together to achieve the final goal. Because I don't think any organisation can do it by themselves. One of the things that came up roughly about 4 years ago was the provision of a national contact centre, which has made a tremendous difference for all our organisations. So it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And not only will it provide support for victims of crime when they need it, it also prevents any victim of crime repeating their story when they get referred to a local service. So that's incredibly important from the victim's point of view, because the last thing that anybody wants to do is to repeat a traumatic account over and over again. And it links in, exceptionally well with all our local services and the national side of things. We've also then been able to build on that with a live chat service, which is actually powered by human beings and not AI, which again provides that wraparound service for what we do. And again, that provision is already in place and ready to receive calls immediately after an attack or a major incident. To go back a couple of slides, one of the comments we were talking about where victim support come into the place with a major incident is around the virtual casework model. And again, this is from the direct experience of a recent major incident, is about providing a virtual casework model to provide up to 4 weeks of managing referrals into the local services. So people affected by terrorism have a single point of contact, and we're able to have a specialist and trauma-based approach to make sure that the right approach and the right support is taken. And then that needs assessment is then travelling with them throughout their journey. So, as again, nobody has to repeat their experience again, and all the information is there. All our virtual caseworkers are based in our headquarters in Cardiff. And again, that provision is based on a 24-hour, 7 days a week principle. And again, allows us to respond flexibly to demand. And then almost towards the end is where I suppose my approach comes into the local services. So as two of my services are what we call multi-crime services, which is an awful expression, but essentially it supports victims from antisocial behaviour all the way up to domestic abuse and serious assault, and it's provided by the police and crime commissioners, as I say, and provides support for anybody, including victims and survivors of terrorism, to receive that enhanced support. And basically, if a local service needs to respond to a major incident, there's escalation procedures in place to kind of step up and provide that enhanced support. As I say, these services are now probably across 75% of England and Wales, so the coverage is expanding. And again, you're having the advantage of having local provision to provide local specialist knowledge is absolutely essential. And then finally, this is around what we call My Support Space, which is an online resource which has grown exponentially within the last couple of years or so to help victims manage the impact of crime. A free and secure, confidential space, which again provides interactive guides and techniques. And again, we've recently expanded it to include terrorism and how to support children, etc., etc., etc. And it's one of those resources that we're continuing to develop on an ongoing basis because the traffic is just increasing. And then finally, I suppose, just our key delivery principles. So we're completely free, we're confidential, and one of the things we always forget to say is that victims can access us at any point, but they can come back to us at any point. So whether that's 6 months, 6 years, there's no cost implication. And as I say, especially through the unfortunate experiences of major instances, that ongoing support has provided exceptional support and is still ongoing today. So thank you very much for your time. I'll be happy to take any questions later on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justin. Thank you.